my name is Linda Losbanda and I'm the compliance officer here at Zambezi Tennis, and today we'll be presenting to you a case study on creating a more sustainable tannery. Our tannery, though operational, had the following shortcomings. Firstly, though production systems were in place, we lacked a fully documented system to communicate our system internally and externally. We lacked documented evidence to support our commitment to traceability within our value chain, though our internal processes fully enforced compliance to traceability on our exotic production line. Some policies were not reviewed to ensure they kept in line with international best practices. The operations lacked systems and policies that ensured we remain relevant to international changes and best practices. We lacked access to resources tailored to the leather industry to provide direction and guidance of best practices. We lacked a benchmark to hold ourselves accountable against. How did we start? Firstly, we set our vision, ensuring sustainability as the cornerstone of all our operations and decision making, committing ourselves to continuous improvement in line with sustainability. We did our research, we inquired with experts in the industry, after which we then decided to partner with the Sustainable Leather Foundation to guide us through the process. We then established scheduled meetings with the Sustainable Leather Foundation Managing Director, Deborah Taylor, and Non-Executive Operations Director, Ralph Aberdeen, to help us through the process. They patiently guided us on the process and helped us to set up our systems. Following the Sustainable Leather Foundation model, we made the following discoveries. The foundation provides us with standards and benchmarks in governance, social responsibility, and environmental impact modules to standardize and optimize our system of operations. The Sustainable Leather Foundation gave tanneries a chance to lead with sustainability, to expand and grow in the industry by providing access to a wealth of information, resources, and experience to support advancements for sustainability. The Sustainable Leather Foundation provided access to an optimized approach to sustainability that takes into consideration the size of the tannery, area of origin, the different factors that may affect such progress, such that it is all-inclusive and adaptable for all leather stakeholders alike. From the above discussions, we proceeded to carry out the following. Firstly, we attained necessary skills and knowledge to assist in the process. Technical training with the ISTT with Dr. Clive Jackson Moss, a fellow of SLTC, to develop our technical depth. We're training our youngest finishing manager currently. We engaged the Standard Association of Zimbabwe, SARS, on steps we can take to certify with ISO 9001-2015, as this would set part of the cornerstone of achieving our goals. Staff members attained implementation and development certificates. We employed the knowledge of our senior technologists to set out a plan to execute moving forward. Technical consultancy being done by Mr. Canans, a fellow of SLTC. Secondly, we established a task force to identify our plan of action. The task force reviewed the requirements of the standards and benchmarks provided by the Sustainable Leather Foundation and the three modules, governance, social responsibility, and environmental impact, against current operations and determined the following course of action. We established a compliance committee that comprised of key people in the tannery to cover implementation in all three modules. The compliance committee decided to start on governance and social responsibility modules, as this was the most feasible and low-hanging fruit for a quick win. Understanding the resources such as time, technical support, plant adaptation, and funding required for the environmental module. The compliance committee concluded this module will be best addressed as a standalone to allow the necessary resources to be channeled towards implementation of that program. Compliance Committee then assigned specific criteria in the 2 modules to personnel based on what their roles are in the Tannery. Based on the requirements raised in the specific criteria, the personnel carried out a deep search and review of documents and procedures to determine what was needed to be compliant with sustainability standards. Based on the research done, work plans were then designed to bring the existing setup into compliance with the standard. When we're executing on the ground, we came across the following challenges. Structures in the country do not support traceability to the levels of standards, for example, bovine traceability. Traceability standards in the bovine supply chain are not as detailed as would be achieved in the Nile crocodile value chain. And for this, we are engaging stakeholders to find common ground towards improved traceability on bovine traceability systems, starting with basic traceability and gradually improving the system to the level of Nile crocodile system. Secondly, aligning documented procedures to actual activities on the ground. We implemented weekly review meetings by the Compliance Committee to look at this matter and adapt system changes where necessary. As we align, frequency of meetings were reduced to monthly review meetings. Finding service providers operating under a similar sustainable model also came up to be a challenge. We are engaging our service providers to obtain reviews of their own internal operations in line with sustainability and advocating for gradual improvement towards best practices. Communication internally and externally. We are in the process of creating different platforms for external communication through digital channels such as websites and social platforms. Internally, we have documented the correct communication channels and are carrying out our re-education steps with our staff. Adaptation to change in the workplace by workers. We are conducting focused team training sessions to educate the worker on the changes and the need to change. Utilizing our Workers' Council, which is management and workers' reps, we continuously engage to find ways to improve the adaptation to change in the workplace. Unavailability of local lab facilities to carry out or require tests. We are engaging with concerned parties to establish the various standards for testing that are unavailable to allow us local access to these tests. Value chain buy-in to the need for sustainability has also been a challenge. Through the support of our trade promotion body, Zim Trade, and the Sustainable Leather Foundation, we will be hosting a workshop to educate the value chain on sustainability, with the intended outcome of having more buy-in from the value chain towards the process and the cause of sustainability. So far, we have completed work systems for each product line in our tanneries. The product work system provides guidance and controls in line with the standards. We have reviewed and updated existing policies, developed new policies where needed. For example, the Human Resources Policy is now in line with the international standards. Traceability policy and manual have now been documented and reviewed to international standards, particularly for the exotic production line. Customer service policy and manual have been documented and reviewed to align with international standards. The health and safety policy has been upgraded to ISO 45001, reviewed and documented. We have also embarked on social programs within our community, such as the following. We are supporting small and medium enterprise programs within our sector. We are also supporting the empowerment of women within our industry. We have a continuous monitoring system in place, ensuring all legislative obligations are met. As of 2022, 5% of production non-conformances were recorded and rectified well in time to deliver to the customer, and 0% in reworks recorded thus far. Workers are adjusting to the system, and as this happens, with continued program implementation, we get to discover how best we can approach our workers with changes and make this transition as smooth as possible, leaving no one behind. With the production work systems clearly directing workers on their tasks, accountability has now increased as workers are obliged to own up to their actions. Some other inconsistencies in production that would usually go unnoticed, adding to the challenges we were having, are now quite noticeable and consequences curbed before much damage is done. From the information that we have gathered thus far, we have a better chance at creating an efficient environmental management system as we continue to refine our governance and social responsibility systems. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.